course, and you can do charity fundraisers. So for them to safe point themselves out of Scientology, they use that 9-hole golf course to maximum effect.
You mean like if I wanted to get married on a 9-hole golf course? Like, wouldn't that just be fitting?
You know what? They couldn't discriminate. You know what? You're onto something here. That is so suppressively clever. You should ask to get married in that church, or I'm sorry, at the golf course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something because it's open to the public. Now, when Scientology TV applied for their permit, they said they would be open to any other religious groups and community groups using their facilities. So maybe we should apply as a group, as SPTV, as a community group here in Hollywood. We want to use Scientology TV facilities since you're opening to the public. And if I need to start a religion, I will. I think
we're going to call it the
whatever, but we could have the church of something. But the thing is,
I got one.
Yeah,
the church of Charlie.
That would be too. Thank you, but I would have to decline because I don't have that kind of need for.
So we have Mitch Brisker in the
Mr. Cool himself.
Yes,
right.
we
Mr.
bring
Cool
him
himself.
on in.
Well, I want to see.
And
Mr.
I'm back
Cool.
too.
Hello.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll have 8.
Yeah, too. Wonderful.
There he
and
is.
then we can.
Hey.
Oh my God, Mitch
Brisker.
Hey,
I don't know if this is better or worse.
hi guys.
Oh.
Hi, Mitch.
Hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Mitch.
Oh yes.
I think
Hey,
Okay.
yes.
Denver
Hey.
Steve. Oh, go ahead.
Fanboy.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Mitch.
Hey, Jeffrey. When I
Yes,
was
Mitch.
some people are the thing you just brought up about the Scientology opening the studio up, SMP to other religions. Well, the B'nai B'rith Society, the Jewish group, they used to use KCET for their big telethon.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, and Miscavige promised to let them keep doing it for free, but he never did.
Really?
Yeah, like he offered it to them. I mean, maybe they turned him down. Maybe they said
Maybe they want to be around him.
we don't want to do it. But he tried to make good on that promise. So anyway.
Wow.
But your idea is a great one to try to use the golf course.
Well, let's get behind the scenes and meet on that, Mitch.
Yeah, we should definitely.
Yeah, and I've enjoyed your work since you came out.
Thanks.
You're like Mr. Cool.
Oh,
Hey, you guys, I want to give Mitch his time, so I'm going to pop back and start getting into my organizing, because guess what? We're on hour 8, you guys.
We are. We are.
Wild.
Jeff,
We've had so many
Denver
moments.
Steve, I'm going to exit too.
Oh, Jeffrey, before you leave really quick.
Stay on. There's more questions.
Yeah, one last question for Jeffrey.
Just really quickly, so I
okay.
can hop off. I just don't want to talk over everybody because I have to get to organizing. So I just want to let you know we have 2 more awesome hours of incredible marathon. We only have about $500 left to our goal. Please get on the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Please send Liz the Venmo. They do not take a fund from the Venmo. So far, people haven't been using that option. It's a good one. They keep putting up the Venmo code. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm going to hop backstage. And if you need something, you just live on air. I'm watching. Thank you, Mitch, for hopping on last minute. You're so awesome.
Problem.
I cannot wait to talk Dianetics with you.
Yes, please, anytime.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Bye.
I just want
You're awesome.
talk to you soon. I just want to say to everybody, as I'm looking at the GoFundMe right now at a goal, or not at a goal, at a raised $4,695. Yes, we are $305 away from our goal right now. We've got 2 hours to do it. Woo-hoo. Ladies and gentlemen, please, if we can do that and more, that's even more fantastic. We're on our way. So please, please feel free to hop in and volunteer there.
Yeah. And I wanted to give a big shout out to all our moderators, but especially to our wonderful Terry Ray, who's been moderating 3 channels of all those 3 people on top of there. She's been moderating and doing a fantastic job fundraising for the cause.
I agree.
All day. Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
You're awesome, Terry.
I just wanted to get this question out there before we kind of do that full transition over. But Jeffrey, if you've got any insights, Apostate Alex was asking, are you able to give a brief rundown on what Scientology are doing with Kozrecki and the $100 million loan?
Well, I'm going to abbreviate this, Alex. We could do a podcast. Kozrecki is the Church of Scientology Religious What is it, Mitch? Church of Scientology Religious Education College.
Yeah, I don't remember the whole acronym.
It's Scientology for the Commonwealth countries. Right. And Alex and I have reviewed this. He did a beautiful piece on his new blog, Scientologybusiness.com. Basically, Scientology in the Commonwealth under Kozrecki is $100 million in debt, which means they can't exist in England, Australia, the other Commonwealth countries without substantial loans from IAS and other Scientology organizations. So there's just not enough members to sustain it, the UK or the continent. And Alex did a wonderful job. So I don't want to go deviate from Magnetic North on Liz, Alex. So I hope you can respect that. We'll do a podcast on it, though, my man.
Appreciate that. Last one. Can you, from Peter Anderson, can you request the body camera footage from the officer that performed the welfare check?
Already have.
Have? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
There it is.
Good update.
Guys,
Thank you.
we're asking that you guys don't super chat. We're not being ungrateful here. Thank you for the super chats. We had a couple like in the past few hours. I'd like to address those very quickly. But we're asking you guys, please, if you can, instead of super chatting, just donate to Liz, because that's the cause we're all here for, today. And YouTube takes 30% of their super chat, and it goes to the creator, and then it makes things a lot more complicated. Right. Of course, the creator can donate that to Liz, but it's a whole thing. But just to address super chats here, we had one earlier that I just where did it go?
I think I unstarted because it was there for like 2.5 hours or something.
Yeah,
I just unstarted right like the second before you started talking. Sorry,
but thank you for it, Destiny.
Thank you for it. Yes.
Yeah, and Chad thanked her. Chad thanked her, but I wish we had brought it up. And then Lori has just. Please.
I won't touch. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No. I'm not frustrated at you. I'm not mad at you. No problem. I double tap all the time. I just want somebody to read that.
We're on this together. Liz, I'm a retired cop of 24 years, says Lori Plays. If I could get there from Florida I'm happy to take the ride with you. Very little brings fear my way. So.
Thank you so much. I definitely thank you. We're not releasing any time phrase as to when we're doing this to keep you and myself in safety. So right now we have to. I appreciate it. I do. I truly appreciate it. But thank you so much for the consideration. Just keep liking, keep sharing, smash the like, smash the follow, subscribe, get the word out so that way we can let people know.
Please subscribe to everybody's channels that are on here. Excuse me. You've heard it from myself, Marilyn, and Chad before. Liz just launched her channel. And are we correct? Am I correct in remembering? Because I don't know that I have the link to it. Is it at Liz Ferris?
Yeah, it's just my name.
No, the handle is not.
Oh.
So it might be harder for people to find it. I'll just share it here.
Oh, if you've got it, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I just put it as.
And and by the way, here was the other super chat from earlier from Destiny. And Destiny, thank you. Liz, bless you for your endurance in this fight for families, not just your own. You're a real hero. And I hope that your efforts can bring you and your father as well as other families together.
Yeah. I hope so too. I do. I hope it destroys this thing.
Yes.
That's the best word for it, is a thing. Without a doubt. So no doubt. So were you Juliana, I'm sorry, maybe I'm blind. Did you bring it up?
I posted it. Yeah.
Juliana. There it is. At Liz Ferris 5. Okay, so at Liz Ferris 5767. They like their numbers here at YouTube. We don't.
Chad just subscribed.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Also, for those that haven't been here thus far or may have forgotten or whatever the case, the ways to subscribe. I'm just going to make that go away for a second, but I'm going to star it. The ways to subscribe are, you see down, there it is, that QR code. You can scan the QR code, and that's going to take you right to the GoFundMe
subscribe.
page. What?
To donate, not subscribe.
To donate, not subscribe. My bad. Sorry. To donate, click the little thingy, the little QR code, and it'll take you right to the GoFundMe. Otherwise, our wonderful
moderators.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
And don't
I can
click the
finish
little
that.
thingy.
Can't you tell?
Point
There you
your
go.
camera. Don't click the thingy. Point the
Don't
camera.
don't click the thingy.
just
Point
point
the
it.
thing. Well, you got to click the
You got to
thingy
point
after.
at the thingy.
No.
Point at the
you
other
don't-
thingy.
Don't I have to
Just-
touch the thing after I point at the thing?
Yeah.
You point the
You-
camera to the
it'll-
QR code.
Yes. Then you touch the little thingy under the QR
link.
code, and it takes you there.
Yeah.
The link. You have to touch
On the phone, but you don't click. You don't touch the QR code.
All right, you guys know how
No.
QR codes work. If you don't, there are links in the chat. Thanks to our wonderful moderators, both to the GoFundMe and to the Venmo, so you can connect in either of those ways and donate by both of those. Remember, we're targeting $5,000 to the GoFundMe within the next 2 hours. The other thing that I was saying is subscribe to anybody here, to everybody here, not anybody here, to all of their channels. You've heard it from Marilyn, Chad, and myself. Yes, subscribe to Mitch Brisker at youtube.com/@Scientology-the-big-lie.
I love it.
Make sure you get the lashes in there. Make sure you get the dashes in there.
Or just clicking the link to one of our 4 channels.
Or just clicking the link to one of our 4 channels. Liz has got her channel. Jeffrey Augustine's channel is Scientology Money Project. There's Liz's right there. Liz Ferris 5767.
Here we go.
Or at is it the Scientology Money Project or just Scientology Money Project?
It's Scientology Money Project on YouTube.
Okay, Scientology Money Project on YouTube.
On YouTube, yeah.
So yep, subscribe
Links.
there. And
Going up in chat in 3, 2, 1. Go.
I can
There
go
are
now.
also numbers.
Oh, and there is also so there's the
There it is, yeah.
Scientology Money Project
Thank you,
8496.
Chad. Thank you, Clearwater Chad.
Yep.
Wonderful chat.
Yep. I just
And
saw
then
the
also our Juliana has her channel out, and it's
No content.
There's no content there yet,
Still a
but
great channel.
she's here and she's streaming
There's
with
no
us
the.
today as well. And there's going to be some fantastic content as soon as it appears. And she is at she is at Scientheologist.
Wow.
There it is.
Theologist.
Right,
Wow.
fancy. So
That is sophisticated.
yeah. So okay, now we're done with all the whatever the that stuff for a while, the junk. So now, yes, Free Xenu Project
Yes.
says hi, Mitch.
Hey, hi.
Hey.
Nice to be here. Hey, when I was going through the gold video, I did a reaction video to the gold video I said, and I noticed Bob Ferris appears in that video. There's a very short clip of him walking as an extra away from camera. So
Wow.
that
The
was
last
like in
one you did? Which one
yeah,
was it?
I did a video. It's a reaction. I think it's called The True Story of Golden Era Productions, something like that, where I reacted to this video that I helped to make and that I was in. I actually have it here. I wonder if I can.
I've seen your reactions, but I'd like to find that one now specifically.
Yeah, there's just this quick little clip. I don't know how to bring it in.
Is it this guy down here?
Yeah, there it is. There he is. Thank you. There he is.
Wow.
That's Bob Ferris right there.
Yeah, on the right,
Oh, I
on the
missed
right
it.
side. He walks in. He waves.
Oh wow.
Wow. Hi, Bob.
Amazing.
Come on
Yeah.
out.
So
Oh.
when I was editing this thing the other day, I
Oh
went,
cool.
"Oh my God, it's Bob!" Anyway, he's a nice guy. I knew him for years. I mean, we didn't interact a lot, but I definitely saw him a lot. And it's just so scary because, you know, they honestly believe they're protecting him from something evil. It's just so crazy. Anyway,
Yeah.
we
That was
need
great.
to
And the
change
evil
it.
is me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. It's not just you.
I'm so evil.
Look at the screen.
No, but
Ching-ching.
she's 1-1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are. I was going to point that out, but you know, it takes one to
I
know
know.
one.
I know it does, doesn't it? I woke up this morning and I was like, let's be evil today.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
going to take over the world.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
that's
My name's not Scientology.
it. Right. Right.
Awesome.
Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because I found it and I was like,
Well, thank you so much.
No,
it's
thank you
it's
for
so
sharing
nice
that.
to see him and talk to anybody that knows him.
yeah.
I didn't know a lot of him, and as far as I knew, he was dead. So this is all trying to
Oh.
find out everything I can.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason when I heard that, I'm telling you, that's the reason I don't carry a gun because that is just so crazy.
Hey, you know, Mitch, I want to jump on. At the protests in 2008, the anonymous protests,
Uh-huh.
two things. First of all, Angry Gay Pope took a picture of Donatella Kevinar, who was a very high-ranking member of OSA,
Right.
and I think she was right under Linda Hamill. And the
Right.
church filed a privacy complaint, even though we took it on a public street where there's no expectation of privacy.
Right.
But question for you, when Anonymous was happening, what orders were you getting to try to counter it? Did you have to film anything or do anything? Like
No,
what?
not myself directly. I mean,
No,
I did a
no.
bunch of videos. I
Yeah.
actually, I did an interview with Mark Fisher and Janice specifically about all that. I did a bunch of videos and stuff, but they had an army of PIs. I mean, they're not going to have me go down to LA and like shoot those people.
Well, there were just some sinister videos about, you know, that have a heavy voiceover with anonymous cyber terrorist, anonymous cyber. You know, I just didn't know if you were involved in any
Yeah,
of that.
yeah, I did those. I'm proud to say I'm a perpetrator.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up on bad 50s sci-fi, and I basically used those like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and
I'm glad you share that because they had that creepy vibe of like we're some sinister organization.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
this thing they did, the orgs mailed themselves, or OSA mailed the orgs some white powder and then said
yeah, in
Anonymous
Glendale.
was sending them anthrax.
No, it happened. It happened in Glendale.
Yeah.
The little mission on Brand Avenue in Glendale, it got shut down. There was a massive first responder response, fire, and you know.
Yeah.
Do you remember that when that happened?
Yeah. Oh, I remember when the whole thing was happening.
Yeah, but that one there was a real envelope of powder, but you know they obviously did it themselves because they needed to do that thing where they say, you know, this is the protests are causing violence or perpetrating violence against us. It was just so sad.
Well, one other question, Mitch. Since you worked at the base so long, when Liz and Vanessa and I pulled up to the base, what do you think their response would have been when we pulled up wanting to see Bob Ferris? Just from all your time you spent there.
What
happens?
What happens is if it's anywhere near a mealtime, you should definitely go during a mealtime. No, because
why?
Because they'll basically cancel it until everybody to stay in their offices and not to come out. Okay. So I don't know when they used to eat it. They changed it from 5 to 6. I don't know how you could get the intel on when they're eating, but if you could, let's say they were going to have dinner at 5, if you just showed up at 10 to 5, everybody would have to stay in their offices and they'd all miss a meal because, you know, they can't be seen outside walking around because they're just super paranoid. So as soon as there'd be anything like that, everybody would be ordered to stay in their office. Like, don't even go outside from one office to another. And then
I picked lunch muster.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Well, were they already mustering when you did it? Because that would be very.
I wish.
painful.
I wish that we had short. Well, they were probably in the mess hall.
Yeah, well, they had to stay in there until you guys were done. I guarantee you. And then they have like a little squad of guys, a couple of cameramen, and they grab them, and then I'm sure you guys were videoed, right?
Well, no, what happened, and
Really?
Mitch, yeah, we were preparing for Port Captain Catherine Fraser to come out like she did when Louis Theroux showed up.
Yeah.
And what happened is nothing. It's sort of like they didn't bring out cameras. They didn't bring out any officials from Gold Base, no Sea Org officers. Nothing happened. And in fact, I had even made contingency plans if we were followed from the base back to the San Jacinto substation to just have another Uber to go to the main Riverside, sheriff's
Right.
office.
Right.
But I was surprised because we just showed up and there was no advance notice. They didn't know what to do. So they called an attorney. I think they pushed, I was saying before you came on the air, I think they pushed the David Miscavige, the COB panic button
I
to
heard
let them
that.
know that
Yeah,
the
I heard-
Marcabs, they probably thought we were
Yeah.
Marcab mass landing. And
Yeah.
it would have went straight to COB. And then,
I don't think so. I'll tell you why, because gold is it's the land that time forgot. I mean, Miscavige blew out of there in 2013. He's never going back. I mean, he has no plans of going back. He's never been back. I mean, he told me personally, just one-on-one, that so many people had fucked him over at gold. Excuse me, but that's what he said, that he was never going back. And then Mike Rinder pointed out, and I thought that, Mike Rinder pointed out that also he was paranoid about about an FBI raid. So he got the hell out of there. So it's kind of like, there's a small handful of RTC staff he has there that handle, dispatches going back and forth. And there's still communication because they theoretically still produce content for the network. But it's kind of like, it's off the main lines. It's kind of just, I don't know. It's probably, compared to what it was when he was there, it's probably a paradise. But plus, I don't think they want to put their problems on his, as they say, on his lines. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, so that's what they called the attorney. But all those houses on Sublet Road, they purchased them all, they bulldozed them. So I noticed
years ago.
Sublet's gone, and they keep the grass cut. All we saw was a fellow on a lawn tractor mowing the grass. We didn't see anyone else, so they probably ordered everyone inside.
Yeah.
Hide under your bunk. And
there was two people. That I saw.
One other
the guy
fellow,
that was sweeping the concrete, and one that was mowing the lawn.
Yeah. And
so bizarre.
It's
every time someone comes to visit, they have to do that.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just the basic drill is stay inside. It's like when they have an intruder, which has happened. Somebody. There was a couple of guys trying to get away from a bank robbery, and they made the mistake of jumping the fence onto gold.
Oh,
yeah. Like one of them got caught up in the razor wire, and the other one, I think the police shot him. But anyway, it's pretty much the dumbest thing a bank robber could do. Would be to break into gold to try to escape. So there's a drill when things like that happen, and it's similar to when there's a protest, because they would consider you guys showing up to be a protest, like when Anonymous used to show up, and everybody would basically just have to stay inside. It's very annoying. It's a total pain in the ass.
Yeah, Mitch, a question, because I've I looked at the I followed very closely Danny Sherman's writing for David Miscavige.
Yeah,
and I knew what they were trying to hit. Your professional opinion, because I admire your intellect, your aesthetic. How good a Danny Sherman? I always thought he was overblown, overhyped, and it was just bizarre, the stuff he did. What was your professional opinion of his abilities as a writer? Was he just giving Miscavige what he wanted?
Well, he once told me something that, fortunately, Danny and I were good friends. He was the best man at my one-time unsuccessful wedding. And so I knew him the whole time I was at Gold. Fortunately, we were friends, because he once told me that he wrote to make David Miscavige look smarter. And boy, if he ever knew he'd said that, that would not have gone over well. But he was, you know, I don't really want to impugn him. He passed away. He published a couple of decent books, spy novels.
Yeah.
The stuff he wrote, the speeches he wrote, and so forth were. I don't know if you've ever read the definition of purple prose. There's a good article in Wikipedia called Purple Prose. Danny was a master of purple prose. It's just overblown, too many adjectives, convoluted ideas. And then he would just like, he once wrote this piece about Hubbard going to Rhodesia. Remember when he was kicked out of Rhodesia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And in the speech, Danny said that he had been exiled. And after the event, I said, hey, dude, listen, he couldn't have been exiled. You can only be exiled from your home country. Hubbard was deported. And he was like, yeah, but I'm not going to say that. It doesn't sound cool. So, you know, that was Danny.
Yeah, that was what's interesting. We called it Sherman speak.
Yeah, I know.
It was a convoluted hyperbole, you know, and I'm offering an opinion not as an amateur, but I actually am the possessor of a real English degree, and I have a 4-year degree in English literature, and to a variation on the old joke, that and $5 gets me coffee at Starbucks,
right?
But no, but we as critics were studying the aesthetics of the movement, you know. And one thing, you remember Tammy Faye Baker wrote after the meltdown of the TBN that the worse things got with Jim Baker at TBN, the more mascara and eyeshadow, you know, the more makeup she would wear.
Right.
My observation was the nuttier that Miscavige got, the bigger his stage sets got, the more it looked like a Nuremberg rally.
Right.
Because at some point it got this creepy Nuremberg rally, and his podiums got bigger. I actually have a thing of his podiums progressing that I think I'll do a YouTube video on.
Please, I would love to see that.
Oh, I would love to collab with you, because his stage, at one point he switched to where there's a blue background, and he appears to have beams of light coming out of his physical body. You know, that became his aesthetic. It had to match the color of his eye. The last event I was at, when I went to the 2007 New Year's Eve event at the Shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say the production values were very good. Mm-hmm. In fact, the music was outstanding. They opened with like 3 drummers to get this drumming, like this tribal energy up.
Mm-hmm.
The music was very good. Stacey Francis, believe I sang, she was very good. And everything was good. And then the speeches start, and it's just like, oh, how long? And you know, it's like you have to get up every 2 minutes to applaud,
right? And
you have CR people watching, and then they have sweeping. Now, did you coordinate those events?
No. I was in film, which was an entirely different unit. Early on, when I first started successfully making films there, it was the fact that we were getting these films done is what really motivated the events to get started. Because remember, they started in the early 90s. It was because all of a sudden Miscavige had something to show. So I was doing like song videos and these things called quote videos, where they take a quote from L. Ron Hubbard, and then I would turn it into like a visual tone poem, and they'd start showing these things. So I kind of helped to get the events going. It wasn't my mission to do that, but it just happened. But then the events themselves, I had rarely anything. Occasionally I would be asked to contribute something. But then if I did an ad, like a Dianetics ad or a Super Bowl ad or something, they showed that at the event. And then I would do ads that they would show. But they were, I'm jumping around, but those ads were all fake campaigns. They were presented at the events like, here's our new Dianetics campaign, or here's our 4th dynamic campaign. You know, those insane, like those sort of info, you know, like the ones that would have these insane statistics. Like,
I think it's called propaganda.
Yeah. I beg your pardon. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, those propaganda videos. But
Major says.
Yeah, but
just pointing out the obvious for the person who's been out a decade versus the person who just came out, because it's a long and windy road ahead of you, my friend.
Yeah, well, you haven't read my book yet, so I have a whole chapter on Nazi propaganda and
Cannot
the
wait.
Church of Scientology. But yeah, it's absolutely propaganda, but it's disguised. Those particular ads were disguised as actual campaigns
Yeah.
that the public were paying for and that were being shown to the world, but they were really just made for them. And they were really just made to fool them, to trick them into thinking that the church was doing good work. So to answer your question, I had nothing to do with the events except the propaganda of fake ad
Yeah.
campaigns.
Well, now the Super Bowl ads that they would run, those were the big dollar ones. Were those your responsibility?
Yeah.
Super Bowl ads? Because those were the most interesting to watch.
They still run
Just-
them every year.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
I didn't do the first one. I supervised the first one, and then I did all of them up until the time that I left, which the last one I think I did. And I actually did one at SMP. I think it was in 2017. It was the last one I did.
Well, you know, but propaganda and fair game and micro targeting, and down at the organic level of fair game, they get stuff from PC levels and micro target individuals.
Right.
But up at the level of a Super Bowl ad, they push that line where science meets spirituality with the e-meter.
Yeah.
And that I thought was well done aesthetically, but it fell flat because it didn't communicate to culture. To try to communicate to culture with an e-meter doesn't work in,
No,
2000.
it would never speak outside the bubble. Nobody got that stuff. It was just word salad. I mean, some of the initial ones I took from Alan Watts, these kind of crazy ideas that Alan Watts would spin.
Oh, yeah.
And I was a huge fan of Alan Watts.
Likewise.
And the way that he would sort of join words and concepts and the rhythm and the flow of his communication was a big inspiration for those Super Bowls. I mean, Gold had no idea how much stuff I use as inspiration from research psychology, sociology, other philosophical movements, because there was so little within what Hubbard did that you could draw on to actually communicate something meaningful about the human condition.
Not at all. In fact, one thing I did one time as an experiment as a writer is I used William Burroughs' cut and paste method. So I took Hubbard and I printed out 4 or 5 different things and I just cut and pasted at random, a la William Burroughs, one of my favorite authors.
Right.
And it actually made sense in a Scientology context. It held together, which was bizarre because you could use cut and paste. And it read like this Scientology version of Naked Lunch, and it was funnier than hell. It was funnier than hell. But that was just an intellectual game I was, playing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Yes.
What is that quote I've been saying that I learned from The Art of War? Because I'm born and raised. Like I used to read this stuff.
Let's discuss this. Let's go to this. The Art of War.
So in the midst of chaos, there's opportunity. And what I believe fair game tries to do is create chaos. That's OSA's whole job. And if we seize this opportunity, like we're doing today, of gathering everybody together and making our voices strong, not to talk about them and not celebrities, but Liz and her dad. And like, how can we reunite just these 2 people so that Liz can see a father who she thought was dead for 19 years? Like, I don't know if you guys can possibly understand how it feels. And I'm sure people in different situations feel it all the time. So I think you can. But in our situation, we've been screaming for help and nobody has helped us for so long. And it's like we tell people what we need and they just have to make it make sense with what Ron says. And we tell them we're depressed. We tell them we just need to get normal education, and it's not heard. It falls on deaf ears when you're raised by the book of child Dianetics, because your parents fell for that catchy ad. And it was kind of as simple as it was a Star Trek world, and the world was ripe for some UFO religions and stuff. And this guy was maybe an evil genius. Maybe he did open the portal of darkness. But honestly, it's 2023. We need to stop worrying about why it happened and start doing things to get the people who are stuck there out, because I would never call it a utopia or anything nice. What we saw was a bunch of scared elderly people who were not, she could not even see her own father. And that's so incredibly upsetting, the fact that they cannot access emergency services. It doesn't matter why our parents signed up. I don't care. I want them to be okay. My parents are not behind bars. They're in a prison of their own mind, and they don't want anything to do with me. I am such an SP because I work to help people who have mental health problems, and they can't do that. So, like, it's just a challenge. Everybody who showed up today, all you never ends, everybody in the chat, everyone who's on all these channels, watching, supporting, every guest, like, thank you from the bottom of our hearts for hearing us scream, showing up. Jeff, you came with us. You continue to check
Charlie.
on us. Yeah, Charlie, like, we're your angels for life, because, like I've been saying, actions just speak.
Wait a minute.
What?
Okay, now you girls go do this. Liz did this. And
Actions speak louder than words, you guys.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, thanks for that, Vanessa.
The other way, Liz. The other way. The other way.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
And thank you to the 244 people that are on right now that just saw that.
That's wild, but you guys know people catch it on replay. And then this is like,
of course,
we're going to have to chop this up. Like, some of these moments today, I don't even know how to process what has happened. This is historic. So it's just all done with, like, close friends. We get by with a little help from our friends. So.
Yeah, you know, you reminded me with what you said, Vanessa, that they have a real problem at Gold. There's you saw old people, right? There's so many people up there that are aging, and I mean, that place. I used to joke that eventually Gold's going to be an old age home for Sea Org members, but I don't know what's going to happen to these people. You know, if we don't start doing something about it now and calling them to be accountable, it's just going to be a real.
I mean,
disaster.
I'm not going to name names today, but people who have been guest participants have had parents dropped off at their doorstep after having mental health crisis, after serving in the Sea Organization for years and years and years and decades. So that's what happens to them. It's not like, oh, they're out on the pasture at Gold, like living this country club life. Like, they do tell people that's not what's happening. That's an internal party line. And what happens is they get dropped off on the street or with their children. This week, we've discussed, just the other night, a different host who came on called me having their own mental health crisis because another second gen we know, who has not been named at all, we're not even going to name them, is somewhere in Los Angeles near us having a mental health crisis. And we're out here trying to help. We are, Aftermath's doing the best they can. Liz is doing the best she can. I'm doing the best I can. You guys know this takes a lot of work. Like, I don't know what came over us, but now we're in so deep. We're not turning back. So, Hey, they made us. They're going to deal with us. And we got Jeff, we got Mitch, we got Juliana, we got Chad, we got Steve, we got Marilyn. We got, honestly, the whole crew. So come at us. It's not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the values of Aftermath, before Aftermath existed, and Leah did her show, it's like 2012, Karen got a DM, and the son of one of the prominent members of the Office of Special Affairs Intelligence Bureau, her son was living in his car shooting heroin.
Oh.
And a former Sea Org member reached out and said, Karen, can you help? And Karen had the decency to contact this woman in OSA, and she knows who she is, and this is all documented, and said, if you don't get your son handled, on living in a car shooting heroin, you know, I'm going to have to step in, meaning call the police, call 911. And the son did get help. But the point Karen made is these people in OSA intelligence are so filthy. They're so hell-bent on revenge and destruction propaganda that their own children can be dying of heroin, living in a car, and they don't give a shit because they're saving the planet. And when you have a culture of throwaway kids, that's dangerous. One thing I talked about was right around the time Alexander died, Johnny Lewis murdered his landlady here in Los Feliz, killed her cat, and then he walked off a third-story garage and plunged to his death. And Stan Gerson wrote on a Scientology forum what's happening to our children. That got leaked. And Mitch, I wrote what's happening to your children.
Thank God though, because Stan Gerson's the magician at all the parties. At least I know that that got leaked and it was a big deal, and that's what gets reported on. But thank you, Stan Gerson. I'm sorry you did all the magic things for us our whole lives. You did all the magic shows. You're still at the Magic Castle. You were just there 2 months ago. My friends saw you. So thank you at least for saying that, because it does take balls, and I know that he got in trouble.
He did. But what happened is he raised the right question. What is happening to our children? He was sort of the canary in the coal mine, if you will, because that was a horrific period to go through. And Scientology had no good answer for what to do. Aftermath does. That's why it's important. That's why it's important to support it. And the things that go on, the second gen, third gen, even, growing up in Scientology is just its own hellish nightmare. And that's one reason we're here. And it's interesting to see all the people who have suffered from it, and I think today's show is important because it marks a lot of things, Vanessa. There really is like a generational shift. There's a reshuffling of things going on that's important, because guys like Mitch and I are getting older, we're still important. We're still players. Don't underestimate. One thing I will say, I shouldn't say it.
We ain't aging out, Jeffrey.
No, we're not. And there's an old saying that age and treachery will always defeat youth and beauty. And that's why you have to be on your guard against these old people, and also they're treacherous.
Well, I finally have a tattoo that I want.
Well, this is why culture.
Wait. Hold on. Stop.
Go ahead.
What's Mitch's tattoo?
Oh, here's the saying that he said. A treachery and
old age and treachery will always defeat youth and beauty.
Yeah.
I have a saying from a Leonard Cohen song that's about Scientology. It's called "Famous Blue Raincoat."
Oh yeah.
And it says, "I see Jane's awake. She sends her regards." And one of the main lines is, "Did you ever go clear?" And it's about her. And then I sent this to your wife. She loved it. And then I also sent her the song Suzanne, because it's like about a muse's job. And Leonard Cohen was a Scientologist for a short time.
Yeah,
I think you guys would love it. It's like beautiful rock and roll philosophy poetry that was really about what we went through. So, we're still getting our Charlie's SP Angels tattoos for sure. But I thought Mitch wanted to get in on it. That's just why I paused you, Jeff. Sorry.
Well, no, this is why I'm saying we need the generations, because culture is different at every, in every generation is different. But it's great that we can come together and talk and compare experiences, because I don't know what Vanessa. Vanessa and I talk a lot on the phone, and I'm learning so much from her that I just didn't know. Mitch, it's how it's astonishing. You're old and you realize how little you really know the older you get. And it's so refreshing to learn new things. And I'm learning a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
working with Vanessa.
I don't feel comfortable saying this about myself, but
Yeah.
I've always been like a lifelong learner. Like I've
Yeah.
always just been like a sponge, and I'm just to the
Oh.
point of. But Vanessa, I'm going to hold you to sending that to me because I really
Yeah.
I'm super interested. So please do. You have my email address. One of you guys does. So
Yeah, we got it.
yeah,
Thank you,
thanks.
Mitch.
Yeah, I really want that for sure. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think since we're on the subject of age, which I think is kind of a ridiculous subject, but yes and no. But it's just the diversity of this group. We're old, we're young, we're straight, we're gay, we're all every different color. It's like there is probably not a more genuinely diverse group of people than those who are coming together as a community to hold Scientology accountable. It really is amazing when you look at it.
Yeah.
It's just awesome too to like compare notes with people who have been gamed for over, all this time. And then I've studied the mind control techniques and just seeing how this works on groups of individuals. So it's kind of like you almost just see it so easy. So talking to people who also see it so easily is what saves your sanity, because it's actually not being paranoid, it's being hypervigilant because we had to adapt and see things.
Right.
So we see reality and then everyone's like, well, are you sure? I'm like, wait, you guys have read the OSHA check sheet? Like how, hello? Like this is obviously we're a threat. You guys aren't giving yourself enough credit. So
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. Vanessa and I have been mapping this latest fair game attack. We're mapping it in a way OSA could not even comprehend, Mitch. And
really?
Yeah, and that might be an interesting podcast. We're mapping it, and you're fascinating because you were creating the message. But now,
I'm suffering.
Well, no, you're subversive.
I laugh about it, but I got to tell you, man.
But
sorry, go on. Never mind.
I wanted to ask you because you're somewhat have a subversive side to you. I detected as a PI. It seems like you departed in some ways from the LRH advices you were given for PR and kind of free agented. Did you ever get in trouble for going outside the confines of LRH?
No.
No.
Only with respect to like 2D rules. But but we all know what a bunch of crap that is anyway. I'm trying to think if I ever did. I don't think so because.
Well, I mean, were you given all the LRH advices and you had to comply with PR? Because some of his PR is such crap.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, you look at one thing that cracked me up was those early shots out when Hubbard was at the ranch in La Quinta. You remember he was taking those horrible color photos?
Oh, the shoot. What was it called? The shoot org of the still shoot.
Yeah,
org.
something.
He
like
had an
that.
org. Yeah, and they were like big clay demos. Yeah, I remember.
Well, he also did like this picture of Moses and Buddha and Jesus all leading up to the Scientology minister, and the photos were such crap. And yet, Danny Sherman, will ask you about him. He writes this thing that Mr. Hubbard was such a great photographer that Kodak was calling him about color science. I worked in lighting. I was with Philips Lighting and Osram between my career, so I knew a lot about color balance and photochemistry. So anyway, we'll do another podcast. But
we should talk about that sometime.
Yeah, that's not
just bullshit. They made up so much stuff about him. It's insane. I mean, right up until when we opened Scientology Media Productions. They had a little LRH office there, as they always do, with a little museum in it, as they always do. And there was a framed letter in there from a producer at Monogram Studios, which that building had once been Monogram Studios. And it was an invitation to L. Ron Hubbard to come to the studio to work as a screenwriter. And they made that thing up 15 minutes before they hung it on the wall. I mean, the thing was it was so obviously BS. It was just like... Yeah. But whatever, we can talk about. We should do something on that.
But going back to Vanessa and I are running this analysis that's so intriguing, because with her training, with her academic training, and also knowledge of the tech and what I know about the tech and fair game.
Yeah.
So we're doing what's interesting about what's going on now. After we did the visit with Liz out to the base, they launched this fair game campaign, and it is interesting to see what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it. And they've moved off their printed page. And Liz is very perceptive because unless you've been in, there's things you will absolutely miss. On the other hand, sometimes people on the outside will catch things that are never, that someone who was in will. So it's great it's enjoying working with Vanessa as a colleague.
Might I add,
Yeah.
unless you're the one experiencing fair game,
Yeah.
sometimes they just work to keep you so busy you can't even explain all the details, and you're the only one noticing the little, like you've mentioned, Jeff, the little nuances of what's from your PC folder that they're using that maybe you didn't even have time to tell somebody. So it's like, how are they supposed to read your mind? But their whole point is to overwhelm people into just utter silence. And that's like so silly. So when you have people who understand what's happening and you can just easily be like, oh yeah, they pulled that from my PC file. This is my auditor's name. This is what they're going on, just FYI. Everything they say, it's opposite day. Don't even question it. Everything is like hilarious. And you're like, oh my God, they're melting down. Like you called it, Jeff, a very long time ago, from day one, actually. And we've been using that kind of strategy that, I had walked into something I didn't even understand what's going to happen. We all did. And then we just have been fighting this. Like, it's kind of funny to see them just trip up so easily and use their references. Like, it's silly.
Yeah. Well, this goes.
We're raising so much money, you guys. We're almost to 5,000.
Yes.
Holy.
Hey, Mitch, what Vanessa was just saying, this is the schizophrenia of Scientology I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
There is fair game that's very micro-targeted and precise by OSA, and then you're communicating a PR message.
Right.
And it's so schizophrenic because what Scientology actually is, what culture sees for what it is, what survivors see it for what it is, ex-members, direct testimony, legal documents, court documents, especially as we saw in the Downey Masterson criminal trial. Mm-hmm. What do you do in the existential, the reality of the Downey Masterson criminal trial? 2 rapes, 2 felony rapes, 30 years to life. Leah Remini suing. Whoever took your place, how do you try to create positive spin in the face of what culture really knows what's going on?
Well,
isn't that schizophrenic?
Yeah, but what you do is they'll continue to do what they always do, which is not address it. They'll just pretend it doesn't exist. They'll just pretend they're a bunch of yapping little puppies biting at their ankles. It's that old, whatever the policy is about when the SPs are outside howling, you have to redouble your efforts. The noise coming from the SPs is just proof that they're being effective. But that's what they believe.
But what got to you? What caused the cognitive dissonance in you? Because when you left, it was like, who left? Are you kidding? Are you Mitch left?
Yeah.
I was like,
Well, it wasn't a sudden thing at all.
It was erosional.
It started years ago with my actually seeing firsthand the physical and emotional abuse, the terrorism that Miscavige aimed at his staff. That was like unbelievable. And then it was just this level of there's a level of participation. One of the things that high demand groups do is they insist on this incredibly intense level of interaction with them, and it just wore me down, and it got to the point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And that, plus, just as an artist, the sort of droning sameness of dealing with the same subject matter over and over and over and over and over again for years. And, and knowing that it was bullshit and that a lot of the numbers we came up with bullshit. And then, they decided to start paying me less. And so I said, it's not worth it. I'm the fuck out of here.
That's
How
interesting.
much should they pay you? What do you mean paying you less?
Oh, I'll tell you privately, but I don't want to.
Okay. What I wanted to say is maybe it's not so much the word schizophrenic because that is a medical condition. I would say that they're showing, because they do create an environment that definitely enhances medical conditions such as schizophrenia,
Yeah,
bipolar
for sure,
disorder,
for sure.
borderline personality
point.
disorder,
Very good point.
ADHD, PTSD, CPTSD, the list goes on and on. They create that environment. That's why we're so concerned. We've seen all of our friends deal with that. It's a real thing that's happening. People don't even see it from the inside when you're a Steward member, which is wild because they control that narrative sometimes, unless you're just under the radar. You're not even hearing it. But what I would say is it's like a very knee-jerk reaction. Like they had definitely laid a plan to some degree, in my opinion, to try to work to combat the incredible work that Aaron, everybody who's been creators out here have been doing and getting all these awesome supporters, Juliana, Marilyn, Denver Studio, Poe, all these cool people who just care. Of course, they're going to have some kinds of plans. You guys, you're not giving yourselves enough credit. You guys are awesome. And they are not happy. Jeff, your description of what happened at the courthouse, please, like goosebumps. People tell us that all the time. So I know it's just us. And sometimes it's like, well, why would they attack little old me? I'm not that important. But truly, this is also for you. And if you think they're going to let a bunch of second gens talk about mental illness and run around with Jeffrey Augustine without an attack plan and without showing their little behind here and there, which we've caught over and over. Dev and I are like, at this point, it's like comedy because it's too obvious, right? So it's like, thank you, Alex. It's just so cool to see everybody like coming together, doing this together. All USPs who are supposed to be SPs are the nicest people I've ever met in my life. And you're helping our good friend Liz through a time that is uncertain. And it shows that we all just show up when she needs it. So you guys are out here with your stories. We want everybody to like continue the conversations because today was about bonding, and it was about bonding for Liz, Ferris, and raising this money.
And we're so close. Like I just saw that, we're like, what is it?
$120?
180.
180.
$180
away from the goal. But it'd be
We're very close.
Very close.
Like 205 away from making 2,000.
Thank you.
So
that's terrific.
Love you, Terry. Thank you. I can't wait to
Look
see
at
you.
on me. I love you.
Look at
Your
her. Look at her
partner.
smile, man. I can't either. Whenever
I love
see
that
kind of
smile.
smile. I'm like, oh.
She's the bee's knees.
Aww,
yeah.
Well, Vanessa, to speak to your comment about that they must have a plan, and I'm absolutely sure that they do, but I think they're also becoming a little overwhelmed. Like I think
because there's more than just one or two of us.
Yeah,
I'll
tell you. I mean, I have my own.
There's a whole train of SPs
for saying that because that video that we produced at Gold back in 2014, the Inside Gold Neuro Productions, which I co-produced it and then was probably in it more than anybody else. And at the time we did it, and it's one of the reasons I did the reaction video, I didn't know that the whole was still going on. I mean, I was helping to produce this video, heavy-duty propaganda video about how wonderful and humanitarian this group is. Meanwhile, within 200 yards of where we shot the interviews, they had fellow staff members like locked up in a literal prison. So I'm like, this is intolerable. I'm going to do a reaction video to this and make them take that video down from YouTube and from their website. It's still there. Like you can go on YouTube right now and you can watch the official Golden Era Productions video with me just extolling their futures. And then you can go on my channel and watch me saying that's a bunch of bullshit. And
well, what sucks is that we have to rely on people to know our character to not believe what's on the internet about you. And it who has to do that other than people who have a multi-billion-dollar business on their back? I don't know what else to say. Like normal people don't have people trying to ruin your life at every step. Right?
Yeah, no, correct. I mean, you're absolutely right. But why wouldn't they have just taken it down? I mean, it's so nothing for them to take it down. I thought they would immediately take it down. When I was at Gold and we'd have somebody like Larry Anderson would split and we'd have to redo orientation. That film was gone immediately. They didn't replace it when it got redone. It just got pulled, so, but they don't seem like they're not doing any of that stuff. Or at least I know that's just one little data point, one little bit of anecdotal evidence, but I looked at that and I'm like, why is my video
Wait,
still up?
they're not doing, like taking those videos down?
Yeah, they didn't take it down.
Because they don't fight, they always attack. They never defend, they always attack. So they're just gonna keep the
but they could have easily pulled the gold video down or re-edited it without me in it. Kept a team of people up.
Like that guy that the when you just or you could just load up I'm not even gonna say it, weapon or walk off a bridge. Remember that guy left and
Larry
they
Anderson.
edited him out because it was so creepy.
Well,
right?
no, we actually reshot that whole film. We didn't edit him out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Mitch, one thing. I'm sorry, you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to jump on. One reason they won't take it down, my opinion.
Yeah.
Scientology plays the long game, and I'll give you a perfect example of what we've been able to do over time, meaning critics. Back in 2005 and even earlier, we started attacking the church's false lies about L. Ron Hubbard's World War II record.
Right.
He was not a war hero, never fought a single day in combat, did not earn 2 Purple Hearts, did not earn a Bronze Star or 27 medals. They kept fighting that, but they slowly walked it back and kept sanitizing it little by little by little. So that if you look at 2005's internet, where all the lies are up, and now they walk back to L. Ron Hubbard participated in World War II. But, commander of corvettes, fought in all 5 theaters of war, returned as the first casualty of World War II and the Secretary of the Navy's private plane.
He had one wife too, allegedly.
It was all bullshit. No, I mean his World War II record was all
not
bullshit.
even at a time.
No, and well, if you look at Scientology's website, you'll see LRH. He's been sanitized to look like this bachelor.
Right.
You won't find Mary Sue Hubbard. You won't find his second wife. You won't find his first wife. You won't find the kids. You'll find only one mention that when he passed away, he left us a bequest for his family. So they sanitize stuff. Like there was a website called Solitary Trees. It dealt with L. Ron Hubbard's racism. It was exemplary. They purged that. So over time, they've taken down things like the OT levels and all kinds of stuff. So my prediction.
Well, they also took her book that I used to study as a child called The Hat of a Wife. That was her advice, like as a 1950s housewife on how to take care of men, especially Sea Org men, to how to have their dinner prepared so that you are a good wife, how to listen to what L. Ron Hubbard wants. But it was essentially my training on how to be a woman as a young lady that I had to unlearn. They've taken that out of print, but we had it because we have all the vintage books, or we had it in my family.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're going to take stuff out, but Mitch, they're not going to give you the satisfaction right now, or you win. So they will take it out. Predictably, they will take it out, but it'll be unexpected and you won't notice. And they'll de-index it from Google, and it'll be like it never existed.
Right.
So yes, they do stuff, but they don't give you a win right now. It's like Ms. Scavage is saying, oh, fuck me, Mitch is not, we're not taking it down. You leave it up and stick it to Mitch, tell him he's a nobody, but then take it down, 13 months, 2 days,
right.
1
Well,
hour
fair
from
enough.
now.
I still had fun doing it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you did it. It was a hoot.
Yeah.
And it interbulated Scientology organizations.
If it interbulates you or bothers you, they're just going to do it. So
Right.
Guys, if
Yes.
I may, I just wanted to say out loud that we have reached the $5,000
Okay.
$5,000 goal,
Nice.
And
Yeah.
You guys can keep donating. You can
Let's
keep
keep
donating
going.
we
because
still have over an
Wow.
hour.
Liz,
Yep.
and
We're still
Liz
here.
is gonna need the money. We know she has gonna have a lot of expenses, and also I'd like for us to take a look at the starred questions and comments. Also,
yes,
please,
you guys, I was going to say it's only 15 minutes left. Some of you guys we've been having the most fun conversation. I want to make sure the hosts get what they need for the next 50 minutes, right?
Right.
Okay.
Let's get
so
some questions.
I
All
think there
right.
are some for Jeff and Mitch, just so you know. So we'll just let
Yeah,
them
like
ask
just
you.
try to.
Sure.
That's Steve-O and Marilyn's job.
All righty.
Okay, so Mitch,
Yes, sir.
Got it.
what would they do if somebody accidentally landed? I haven't proofread this question, so bear with me. If somebody accidentally landed in the in-base by mistake, in quotes, as a skydiver or parachuted in.
Well, that's actually
Trespassing.
that's not actually not that unlikely because one of the major skydiving centers in the country is a half hour from Gold. So somebody, I don't think they would do that much. I mean, I think, I think Jackson would confirm this, that they like to, like Jackson, remember he was a volunteer fireman, and they really do like to sort of get involved in this public safety, idea. So I think they would probably rescue the guy and play it up like as a big PR story about how this poor troubled skydiver landed on their property, and they made sure he
It was fate.
safe. Yeah,
Or somehow they're gonna twist it around and be like, he landed, he's safe, he's now watching a video on how to be a great Scientologist.
yeah, exactly. They
I
would,
would say the opposite, though, to play the counter.
Sure, go ahead.
By mistake means that they're going on purpose and they're trying to do something like save somebody. So Scientology is all about calling the police to say that they're receiving harassment. I think that they would file charges to the fullest extent for somebody landing on their property, because we know second gens who have been charged with crimes for like walking in, and young men who have had like mental illness after being raised in the Sea Org. I'm pretty sure we all know who that is, like who got literal crimes against them, younger people. So I don't think it's like, oh, haha, they're just like, oh, we're gonna make this cool. They're not ever cool with somebody showing up on their property and announcing.
No,
We
they could
can all
also
testify to that.
it would trigger what they call an intruder alert. That is for sure.
They could argue that their use of 88 millimeter anti-aircraft guns were ecclesiastical in nature and First Amendment protected, and they were sorry that his sudden exteriorization,
Yeah.
Who knows what they would do? They could do everything from a touch assist to opening up with the anti-aircraft guns.
Exactly.
Batteries.
It's that random. It just.
Hey, I did an interview with a podcast years ago with Jackson on Eagle's Nest where they had sniper rifles.
Yeah.
And when you have to learn how to use a scope on a sniper rifle. And someone one day was practicing with it, and they crossed David Miscavige's path, and that came up, and he went batshit crazy because someone put a scope on him. But I tend to think it's sort of the extreme, and you don't know what mood in there that day. So Vanessa could be right. Yeah. They would have the guy arrested. All the guards would jump on him and pummel him, or they would give him a touch assist and love bomb him. I guess it depended on what the weather was that day.
Yeah.
What kind of, but.
Well, it just occurred to me, we look a little bit like Hollywood squares.
I know.
Yeah.
Some people might be too young to get the reference, but it's just like.
You guys keep going with the questions. I know you got a lot.
And I just want to say, Poet said they'd offer him a personality test.
Totally. Yeah. Well, they already know that they're an SP. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You got the next one, Marilyn?
Sure. I'm going to start from the top, though, because it's a earlier question.
Sure.
We got Apostate Alex. Question, Mitch, what was Bob's post/job while you were there?
I don't actually remember because I didn't interact with him very much. I believe he had a technical job where he would address electrical issues like with audio equipment or maybe the filming equipment, because I know he worked. He was one of those technical engineer types. Do you have any idea, Liz, what his background training was?
Before the Sea Org, I actually do. He was basically the technician for all computer parts in the U.S. Air Force.
Yeah, that makes sense. That he was like a computer. I knew he was some kind of a technician, but I didn't really interact with him. He was just somebody I would see all the time. Because he moved around the base a lot, because there was a lot. Technicians generally did.
This might be a question for both Jeffrey and Mitch. What are the chances that they move Bob to another location? What do you think?
Again, it's the same odds as with what they would do with the skydiver. I mean,
right?
They certainly could move him. I guess it depends on how much of a threat it represents. I don't know. What do you think, Jeffrey?
It's one of those things. I don't think they'll move him because they will not want to give Liz the satisfaction.
Yeah.
Sometimes here's my observation. When a crime's been committed, oh, fuck yes, get him out of the jurisdiction now,
Right.
yesterday. When it's Liz pushing back, no, he's staying right here and you're not going to do a damn thing about it and stop
Yeah.
trespassing, stay off our grass.
Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good point.
So I think you have to differentiate the situations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Interesting. Mitch, that's not the one I clicked.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
I'm going from the top. I'm going older to newer.
All right, then I'm going newer to older then.
Okay. That's all right.
Mitch, have you experienced any fair games since speaking out?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could be like Wile E. Coyote, who has the safe, dropping from the sky.
Yeah.
So,
It's
he
coming.
squished in a second.
It's coming.
I don't know. I have this weird feeling that people are like, David Miscavige doesn't watch YouTube. He's not sitting around, keeping track of all this stuff. He only knows what people tell him. And at least for a while, I think people might be too paranoid to tell him that I'm speaking out. Like whoever tells him a bunch of heads are going to roll. Like half of gold's going to be in deep, serious trouble.
Beans and rice. Beans and rice, baby.
Yeah, and a lot of people also are going to be in trouble because they let it happen. That's his attitude. So I think a lot of people are just shutting up about it, at least until it somehow gets out. So
They're not ising Mitch.
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Just an agreement here, Mitch. Hollywood Squares with Shadow Stevens, but instead it's SP Squares.
SP Squares. Yeah, we should maybe start a game show.
We should, right? With Jeffrey Augustine and the Paul Lynn Square.
Like to be
Yeah.
here, my favorite place.
Yeah, exactly. SP Squares.
I love it.
I think
All
they
right,
have.
I'm back to you, Marilyn.
All right. Question about a possible protest. Freezino Project wants to know, question, Mitch, what would they do if there was a protest that they rotated people around the clock for days?
You mean
It's
at
all
the base?
technicality. When there has been protests, we're forced to stay inside. Security will be outside. They try to stall them until one of the PR aides shows up. Once the PR aide shows up, for a lack of better terms, they're going to start screaming, like, get off the property, blah, blah, blah. Why are you trying to destroy church hours, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And, they're going to make a scene where you're the one in the wrong. But realistically, you could be calm as day and they're going to be screaming at you to your face. You have to just, unfortunately, for a lack of better words, everybody up here, TR0, you gotta keep those, like, scream at my face, scream at the wall, do whatever you need to do.
We've been there. We got to tell you guys, until your own religion that raised you or anything does this to you, it's very easy to think that they don't really do this. Like, you've read it, but maybe like they're not as crazy as you think, because you kind of want to think in your head that like maybe it was okay what you did. But honestly, they're that crazy. We showed up. They were so insane to us that they did not let Liz see her father. Where else in America does that happen? And now it's how long later since we went, and we still need to ask for help and beg and scream. So let's just all wow, they do this, and like, whoa, can we get Bob out? Like, it doesn't
Marilyn,
even
I love
matter.
you.
Yeah, we love you so much, Marilyn. Like, you have been all of our second mom who's been there.
I want to adopt you all. I'm here for you. I'm sending hugs.
Well, our
And
hair tone matches. Our hair color matches.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. See? See?
Passes your kids.
But I'm so concerned about the safety. My kids would tell you I'm a total worrywart. Why the hell is there not a right of way? Like, I live on a state highway, and there's a 15-foot, like, you can't plant trees or anything. You can't plant cactuses.
Are you talking about an easement?
Yeah, like, where is there like what's the local like legislature? Is there a town? Is there like a board of selectmen that you can go to? I mean, I know that there's the sheriff and the county, whatever, but like, What?
Yeah, there's
who
there-
does zoning.
Marilyn, there's definite code violations, and that's
Yeah.
something I'm not going to talk about, but I'm working on.
Good.
There's definite code violations, and there's also something called dirty politics, lack of enforcing code. So there's a whole bunch of things that maybe the state of California has to get involved in because Riverside County won't, even though they technically own the road, because the Scientology attorney worked to get the road, that portion of the road, transferred from state of California to Riverside County. So there's some jurisdictional things that I'm looking at, along with some people who happen to have law degrees and are
Also,
licensed to
just
practice in
to
the state of
point out,
California.
Part of why I've always thought second gens are going to be the ones to take this down is they can no longer deny what they created and what we've been through, and they have it in our PC files. So what they're using against us is their own fault. Liz has a lot of things she could be talking about right now, real juicy things, all day. We've been here all day. We could have been dropping celebrity bombs. Instead, all of us actually. That's what happens when you grow up in Scientology. That's why they're so afraid. And when we can casually talk like that and explain it in terms that the real world can understand, they are shaking in their boots, especially with the information Liz has. So you don't just go show up at Gold Base and expect everything to be hunky-dory.
No.
That's why we're asking for help. We're like, hey guys, we're out here. You guys said like there's this community if we go do this kind of stuff. Hey, we did it. Can we get the help? Because now she's got to come back. Now we got to order these reports. She had to order a computer. Like, we're doing that work, and we really appreciate you guys showing up for us so that she can keep searching for her dad, and we can just be there
Correct.
for them.
Yeah.
And if I don't get him out, I don't get him out. But at the same time, then someone else will have a path to take.
Yes,
Someone
exactly.
else will be able to
100%.
use my footprints and go forward.
Yeah.
And if that's what it takes, one person getting their footprints in there, then other people follow the footprints. And that's, again, we have a revolution on the way if we can follow each other's footprints.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Is
hopefully
it
it's like a
second times?
domino.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
you know, line up those dominoes because you know what, they want to pretend like, from what I've noticed, Scientology wants to pretend that, or the Sea Org wants to pretend they're having such a great time. I promise you, they're not. There was nothing about it that was like, oh my God, everybody, I'm just having a great old time today. No, it was literally like, like almost military style where you were just, shoulders back, chest up, let's go, arms at side, relaxed position. And, just like muster, you think it's fun for a little bit. And then all of a sudden you're like, this sucks.
Yeah, Liz, to that point, the regimentation, Karen and I live here in Los Feliz, and every evening I walk my Borzoi Sebastian and down Franklin. Usually go 10, 10:30, 11, and we have a walk. It's his job is to make me walk every night for a few miles. Now, I see the Sierra buses going home, usually around 10:30 to 11, and it's so regimented. I think of those poor lonely souls on the buses. The windows are tinted. They obviously started work real early. How many times a day do you muster in the Sea Org?
3.
3 times. Yeah. So they eat in cafeterias. They're transported on buses, and I don't do anything. I just let the buses go by because it's like when I go take journalists around L. Ron Hubbard Way or Celebrity Center, I never photograph Sea Org members because I know what it's like. What it is like. I mean, my wife was in the Sea Org for a long time, so they're not really. It's the church policies and conduct. While there are individual Sea Org members who are sadistic and should be imprisoned, definitely the rank and file are in there against their will. So I see that bus going by every night on my walk, and I think of them as trapped, hopelessly trapped. We are separated by contract law, First Amendment. We are separated by millions of years. The difference is I'm out free. I'm walking my dog. Yes, we have 2 Borzois, Terry Ray. We actually have 2. Karen and I have 2 Borzois. So the Gulf, they can be 10 feet away in a bus turning on a certain street. But the gap between someone who's not in the church and someone who's in the Sea Org is light years.
Yeah.
And it's nightmares. The difference between I go home and I sleep, and if I need to sleep 8 or 9 hours, I can, is not like that for them. So the regimentation is just staggering, you know. I think Mitch had a lot of freedom. Second gens Mitch had a lot of creative freedom. But the second gens, when you grow up in it, it's a different kind of like no freedom world. You have this enforced identity. I remember growing up being in Sunday school, being told I could go to hell.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That terrified me when I was 5 years old, that I could go to hell. Yeah. And so you grow up in Scientology, it's worse. It's even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least, you disconnect, you'll have no one, you're going to be living on the streets. Lucky if you're flipping burgers, your life will be destroyed. Nobody will love you.
Yeah. You don't even know how to speak English. You speak Wronglish.
Mm-hmm. Wronglish.
Yeah.
Guys, we're getting closer to the 10 hours.
Okay.
I would like to ask Jeffrey and Mitch to stay with us for 5-10 minutes,
sure.
just to finish whatever questions we have for the 2 of you specifically, and then I'd like for the rest of us to stay for the remaining 30 minutes and just wrap things up. That's okay.
Yeah, Juliana, just one thing. I got a text message from Zenu.
Okay.
And he's apologizing for missing graduation tonight, but I'm telling him it was actually last night, Friday night.
Oh.
So what condition?
Yeah, Friday night graduation at the atrium, or which one?
So what condition do I assign him for missing graduation?
I don't know.
Who's the EO? Is he in?
Liability.
Okay, Zenu, you are in liability. Okay, I had to take care of that. Next question.
Nice.
Thank you very much, Jeffrey. That was very important.
Great question.
Great question.
Someone had to be the EO and not ask the whole.
Right. How about Apostate Alex wants to know, other than donating, what can people do to really affect change here and make a real difference?
Spread the word.
Yeah.
Spread it. Share, like, follow, remind people, hey, Claire Headley, Mark Headley, remind Amy Scobie, her husband, I'm blanking on his name right now. Vanessa, the people above us. Refer to the channel, look at it, actually spend some time looking that we're not putting out propaganda hate speech. We're literally putting out, this is what happened to me in my life.
Right.
And there is not one person in this world that connect to someone spilling their guts and having raw emotion.
Also, we've been working on some other grassroots ideas that we just didn't have ready to announce today, but they're going to be ways to help other than donating, more like volunteer, street scene, kind of old school, how you actually affect change. Sometimes you do it through art, sometimes you do it through activism, sometimes you do it through fashion. And we're a new generation. We see what's worked and we see what hasn't worked. So by just watching these channels, you guys are all doing the right thing. By supporting our friends, by supporting us, you're already doing it. Don't feel like if you don't have extra money to spend, you have to. Please don't. But we are so grateful if you do have it. Liz needs all the support she can get. But we're going to have a lot of options coming up that just weren't ready for today, but I do want you to know there's so much coming.
Teaser.
Dun, 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 dun.
Question: when they drop a parent off at a kid's, is it only kids in good standing, or will they take parents to SPs too?
No. I sorry. I probably should have waited for the whole question. If you were in lower conditions, no, you don't get to see your parents. Just like if they're in lower conditions, they don't get to see you. If you're in good standing and all your stats are up, even though they don't use the real word statistic, but whatever. But no, you cannot. If you're in lower conditions, there's a lot of things you can't do. You can breathe, you can fart, but you can't really talk to anybody. Beans and rice.
Hey guys, I can do both of those things out here.
Thank you.
Mona. Next question.
All right.
So question, do any of you have, well, this is a great question. Do any of you have a gut feeling about all those dominoes falling? Do you think they are well on their way?
I think we've made the steps and progress towards it. Because look at the people here. You got Jeffrey Augustine, you got Mitch, you got Elise, you got V. You know, you got Chad, you've got everybody. You know, look at all the people we had on today. These are all people that we love and respect and cherish their opinion. So yes, we are all putting our dominoes down, and it's going to bring more dominoes, and then eventually it just topples.
Yeah, something
It's
I
not
wrote
sustainable. It's not the whole. Just the way it's configured, it's just unsustainable.
Well, two things. The Church of Scientology is inherently self-destructive. Self-destruction is built into its DNA. One of the reasons is because lying is a central principle of its own existence. Something I wrote in 2005 that Anonymous adopted. I said the goal, as I see it, is to systematically dismantle the Church of Scientology in its present form. So systematically dismantling is attritional long-term, and it's been happening because, Mitch, I think you'll agree, if you look at Scientology 2005, when Tom Cruise was at CAA at the top of the world versus now, look at the difference. Look at what's happened in 20 years, Mitch.
Right.
I mean, OSA used to be able to strike fear into the heart of Hollywood, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
Now, what would happen if someone called and said, hey, I heard your show's going to broadcast a joke about Scientology?
They'd hang up on them.
Yeah. And Mitch, yeah, because long-term veterans, we can see the difference. So it is attritional.
Huge.
Sometimes you get, here's the thing about karma. Sometimes it happens fast. It's like when Danny Masterson was convicted of rape, Lisa McPherson. Sometimes there's very sudden things they don't see, like Anonymous, they were blindsided. And other times it's attritional, like they had to back off of forced abortions because of pressure from the Catholic Church and their friends in LDS, the Latter-day Saints. Some things are attritional, some things are sudden.
Yeah, and they're still doing it.
So,
I don't care what anybody says. They're still doing forced abortions. Let's be
Yeah.
realistic, people.
Well, they're
I've
hiding
done
it.
them every time.
They may be hiding it better then. But so some things, and look, when you look at chaos theory, I've always thought Scientology will be like chaos theory. It'll be a sudden and catastrophic collapse due to an unforeseen event. It'll happen very quickly overnight, but it will have been a result of long-term attrition and weakening of key structural failure points.
I think this goes back to what Liz was saying about the footprints. I think every new generation, a new thing, a new movement, a new wave of things that's happening is, building on top of what was done before, and the ones who came before had it harder and are making, paving the way for the ones that are coming out to walk on, and that makes that makes other people, I think, feel safer also to come out and speak up and
Yeah, and for the people that don't want to come out and speak up for fear of what they lose, job, money, friends, family, whatever it may be, it's okay. And I want everyone to know it's okay. There's no judgment. But if you have a family member in there, let us try to get them out. Again, mother, brother, father, sister, I don't care. But if you don't want to come out, let us do the work.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Goldie.
We're clear.
Yeah.
No.
We're here. We're queer.
I almost wore my Portland protest shirt today because my parents were there, and they actually did chant that at the Portland protest. We're here. We're clear.
We're clear of Scientology.
That's what we're doing.
I have exorcised the demon.
And some of us are queer.
Thank you, Mary. And thank you, Jeff and
Right.
Mitch, for joining us. And we're just going to wrap out this show because
Okay.
we're ready
Yep.
to just.
It was an
hopefully
absolute
that-
pleasure.
Thank you very
Oh.
much,
Yeah,
you
it
guys.
was.
Yes,
This has
thank
been
you.
the most fun day ever. Thank you guys.
I've been
for
watching a
joining.
lot of it. It's just been amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you
these
so much.
amazing
Thank you,
people.
Charlie.
Thank you, Mitch.
Oh,
Thank you, Jeffrey.
pleasure, ladies.
See you guys.
Okay.
Bye.
See you
Good
guys.
night.
See you.
Adios.
Bye bye.
Thanks.
Good night.
Thank you.
Let me remove here. And here we go. Let me organize.
There we go.
Ah, look at that.
Nice.
Professional.
We got a thing right there.
Liz is in the center.
And then,
Yes, there she
All
is.
right, you guys. It's
I'm
almost.
pretty sure that's called a menage a trois, but
Ooh,
I'm taking it.
Liz, you're getting
Ooh.
kind of wild already.
It's
Oh
been
my
like
God.
nine
I
and a half
live so much.
hours. So you guys, we might be naughty at this point. Apologize for what we say. We're not even
The
thinking
cheesy
straight.
flows, maybe.
We've been
here.
organizing, but this has been incredible. And oh my God, we reached her goal.
Yay.
Right.
And then some. Yay.
Amazing.
So, do we have
SP
any
after
additional
party.
questions?
Let's see. We went
Um,
through most of that.
no, I think we had a comment here earlier, but no, because we try to keep not yet. But
We're at
people, you can
5,100 right now.
Awesome.
5,100.
Yeah.
100. Nice.
Everybody who's still watching, you can still send us
You can ask
questions,
questions.
comments. We have 30
If-
more minutes
yeah.
with you guys. We're just gonna and just the 5 of us. We started just the 4 of us because we are Clearwater Chad is the originator of
hostess
the
with the
Chad-a-thon.
mostest.
He's the
The
host.
OG. Yes.
And then
Yeah,
we are
where
the
he belongs.
hostess. We are the co-hosts, and then the Greater Daughters and Liz are the co-hosts. So,
Mhm.
It's a whole party.
so we
Coco.
wanted to
Yes,
finish
amazing.
up just.
You're the guest
yeah.
of honor. Definitely.
Liz,
Well, I
how loved
couldn't have
do you
made it.
feel?
I feel very loved. I mean,
Good.
realistically, I started this thing by messaging you, got a soul sister, I got my sister, but
Always.
V has been through so much because of standing tall with this journey with me. And it's about time we let people really know that, yeah, she's being hit hard. We
stand tall.
We stand tall. You guys wanted it. We are singing
Yep.
it for you. We're always going to stand tall because we had to listen to that silly song
All the
over and over.
time.
And we don't.
We had to watch that video as kids.
We
growing
don't
up.
desert comrades in need, and Liz
No.
is our friend in need, and that's why we're here. It's been actually really fun, even though we've been receiving all this ridiculous nonsense.
Hate and
I mean,
disgusting-
honestly, I
yeah.
just cannot with the fair game. Like, I go to gas stations and people follow me and never get gas, and then come up to my window and try to freak with me, and then I don't post it because people will say, "Oh, you're doxing them, prove it." But Scientology moves money 5 times, and it's like, honestly, more of a hassle to even try to pay attention to anymore. It's just happening everywhere. So for us to be able to just throw something together, because we do deal with those kinds of things when we're going through this experience. And just like I was telling Juliana, like, yo, I planned this on my lunch break, and this came out better than any SMP program they could have ever plotted, planned, programmed, yelled at Sea Org members to work all night. We did it with love. We did it with respect. We tried to accommodate everybody. Hopefully everybody had fun. We shed some tears. Like, you guys, this was an incredible day.
Yeah, it truly was.
Absolutely.
I have to thank you
Absolutely.
and as a publicly.
Yeah,
Turf
no
word.
worries. This was
Publicly
fun.
now.
Publicly.
Because no, not there. Because you really have done an awesome job, because like I said, like last time I was the one, Marilyn and I actually were the ones like making all the contacts and everything, but we were dealing with a lot more people. And now this time around, it was easier in the sense that you were dealing with people that you know personally or that you're closer with, but you were able to do it in a very fast and organized and,
Yeah.
and very like you were on top of everything. Only like before when preparing to it, and you were very thoughtful in the way that you talked to people, you invited people, and then all our communication leading up to the day, and then throughout the day-to-day, you have been. She wasn't here on camera with us the whole time, you guys, but she was on the phone or somewhere, dealing with something and organizing things from somewhere backstage, and she was amazing. And she's I think she's the great reason why this whole thing flowed, or for the whole thing to have flown so well or moved so well today. So thank you very much. You were
course,
amazing.
it is my pleasure. I think when we use just compassion, I consider myself an empath on a warpath.
Love it.
So, when we use, don't let them weaponize our. We've already made merch because it's my best friend has it tattooed, empath warpath. So we've like spray painted our own shirts, and I have one I brought for this special occasion. I'm not wearing it today, but I was planning on doing an outfit change, but this has just been so enthralling. I wanted to join back in on the conversation. But warpath on an empath, and they're not going to weaponize our empathy, but we're gonna use respect and just the human psychology we know at the outside world to just treat human beings like human beings. And it all turns out so cool instead of so poorly how we used to have it turn out when we used like tech from Ron. So it's been really nice experience it's like a restorative experience having everybody be so cool today. Nobody had any problems. There's tech stuff like you guys said. I was on the phone. I was making sure everybody got in, but it takes a lot to get everybody together for people, and we're all willing to do it. So thank you guys.
Troll free, yes.
And we did it troll free.
Troll free, wow.
Yeah, yay.
Troll free
Thank
over
you to
10 hours.
Thank you to all the moderators and Goldie, Terry, Penny 5A, all of you. Thank you
again,
so
everyone
You guys are
that
amazing.
donated too.
Just say Peggy,
Everyone that donated.
because Peggy arrived towards the end, and I say Peggy.
Hey,
Peggy.
I got one for
Well, if
her.
Goldie is still
Peggy
in,
Sue.
I would just like to say,
Peggy Sue.
tag Goldie, you're it.
Tag Goldie. And Penny
Nice.
says, big hugs for Liz. And I love that she's found family in the other second gens. Yes, your sisters.
We're
Always.
sisters.
Always. Charlie's Angels, always sisters.
I love that.
It's Scientology is a lot of words and not a lot of actions. And we just have to watch what other people do and how they treat us. And it's easy to tell who's here for the right reasons when you can tell that you feel good being around them. And it's really rare.
Yeah.
I mean, not like all the time. Sometimes like people will do things like love bombing. But at the same time, when it's like somebody who is, using that experience of being through that PTSD, it can be very comforting.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Alex.
Massive round of applause. Yes, you've been the glue. Keep everybody together.
Like I said, we could do a round two.
We
like to
can
give her a
totally
round of
do a
applause.
hip hip hooray.
No hip hip hoorays. No hip hip hoorays.
Hip hip.
Nothing that's triggered. Hooray! Not
I
to
love you
LRH
guys.
though.
I love you guys.
Wait. Aren't we reclaiming? Even though I was never a Scientologist, I am a Scientologist, so I am reclaiming something that was never mine, such as much love. And
I love
as much
that.
love is much love. So hip hip.
Hooray.
Hooray! Hooray!
Hooray.
Who are we hooray?
You, all of us.
And the 10 hour.
I was trying to not take that, but okay, you tricked me.
No, I
Thank you,
really
guys.
would like to. I'd like to hip hip hooray and give a round of applause to all. I want to say 6 of us, but it's been 10 hours, and I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 of us. Am I right? 7 is a good number.
7 on screen.
Yeah.
7 on screen. No, the 7 of us who. No, I'd like to everybody, but the 7
And
of us.
226 currently in the audience. Thank you.
Okay, so first of all,
Wow.
the 7 of us, because I think we did great. We're a great group of people working together. Woohoo! To us.
Yay to us.
Hip hip.
Hooray.
Hooray!
Thank
Now
you,
to
thank you.
all of our guests who are here throughout the day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hip
I want to
Yes.
say
So much,
thank you
so
so
much.
very much for showing up. Thank you for helping, and I can't wait to do more and hear stories about my dad. And
Yes.
you know,
And the last
we're
one I'd
one
like
step
to
closer.
ask for cheers and applause and to our wonderful community in all the chat throughout the 10 hours, everybody who's been hanging out with us, asking questions, commenting, lurking, donating, sharing, and everything.
That's the 226 of us.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for watching.
You say 226 at the moment, but you gotta
At the
remember
moment,
it's been 10
that's
hours,
you
so
now.
it's-
That's no agreed.
I'd like
Agreed.
to thank everybody throughout
And the
10
replay
hours.
crew and the replay crew, all 27,000 of you.
Yep.
We love you.
Hey, Zeno.
Love you
Praise
all. Thank you so very much.
Question from Apostate
Oh, I
Alex.
could answer this. I
Go
can
ahead.
read it out. Okay, question.
Please.
We've hit the 5K target, but Liz V, could you give us an idea of what a difference it'd make if we raised more than the target? Like what does 10K do? Like better legal support? No. So we're not even to the point of legal support. We're still like deciding which attorney Liz is going to be using in her thing. So this is purely to recoup the expenses from the first trip, essentially, as well as cover the trip that she needs to make in order to, if she's able to, view the body cam that everyone keeps telling her to. They will not send it. It's been challenging to get it seen, but there have been officers who have said it to him. But like, honestly, why can't she just see her dad? So there's
Right.
things that need funding. She bought a brand new laptop. I think the 5,000 that we raised today will be awesome for covering kind of everything she's spent so far.
Yeah, and I was
as
smart
well as
about
what
it.
was listed on the. Yeah, she kept receipts, but I always tell her you don't need to list your expenses or even tell anybody what we're doing. We're dealing with OSA, and anybody who has dealt with an intelligence agency that is used by other governments at times, you don't need to list what you're doing. They want you to list what they're doing. So like, as much as we want to share, we also have certain intelligence things that we do for our own safety that we're never going to be like, this is how I watch OSA. Like, come on, you guys, this is not so.
Absolutely.
So we do
Absolutely.
have
We have
like,
to
we're
be
happy
very
if we
careful.
raise the extra. Today we've raised our 5,000. We are like, oh, this is killer. We're not trying to get up to 10 today. If we want to do it too, then we're going to like, we'll be very transparent about what it's about, you know?
Absolutely. You know, but we do have to maintain a small level of secrecy, not that we don't want to, because there's a part of me that I want to expose everything. But I also want my family and myself to remain safe. And if I expose every plan I have, then I just threw that out the window. And so keep following. You'll all find out eventually.
Right.
It's just ahead of time. It's very hard because we have to be safe. We have to be smart.
Well, we know there's a need. There's a great need. We saw the footage after the fact of your first trip to Gold, and it's not cheap. It's not easy. You're doing it again. And, you know, at any crowdfunding, if it's not for an actual nonprofit, you don't get a line by line, play by play of
It's
what's
not
spent.
a requirement. It's not a
trusting,
nonprofit.
right? No, it's not. So, you know, we're asking you to trust. You see the evidence. You see what's been happening, the risks that have been taken, all of the strides that have been made, and it's just, what do you say, Liz? Rinse,
recycle, repeat.
All right, that's what we're gonna do.
Yep.
And we're gonna keep doing it, right?
And now Alex also said, sorry, Mara, sorry.
Alicia's like falling asleep.
Sorry, I'm
on
talking
screen.
too much.
Like, are you good?
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm reading the comments.
Okay.
I'm like trying to catch up. I'm sorry.
Oh, and I started a bunch of things here. I just wanted to compliment with this one that Alex also suggested that you request for a copy of the buddy cam. So I think this is also something that's interesting too.
Yeah, we have to remain in legal limitations because there's only certain rules that but body cam is technically released to the public. And so we still there are guidelines that we have to follow. The The Scientology
You don't have to
may
explain.
not
You
follow
don't have
one.
to.
Yeah, don't
You don't have to
explain
tell
it.
us. You
Liz,
don't have to
we're
tell us
dealing
anything.
with it. Don't even answer
don't have to
questions
explain.
like that because we're doing everything we can. People are trying to be helpful, but
Right.
don't ever please feel like you have to explain yourself.
You don't
We
have
need
to.
protect
No.
you.
I just
Okay.
wanted to post that there as a suggestion. So just take it or leave it or say, okay, thank you for the suggestion. And then you don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. Because I know, guys, like we've been saying, we're dealing with something big here. So, it's not like it's a good idea to necessarily be talking about details.
Yeah.
You guys want to get some more of those comments or questions or?
Absolutely.
Steve-O.
Nah. Okay. Yeah. 1 sec. Let me get to the right screen here.
I really thought you were going to do Lion King. Nah, nah,
My cats are sleeping. Otherwise, I would pull a Titus and drum.
Circle of life. Okay. Peter Anderson suggests or offers. Would it be possible to put a temporary sign, like a political sign, 4 by 8 feet, or building a mural at the locations that routes near Gilman Hot Springs? So, like, I don't know, on each end of the road, or
I don't know that whole situation. Would it be great? Yeah. I'd love for my dad to see his name, like Save Bob Ferris, you need a day off, or, the door's right here. But, you have to be mindful that the only space for you to walk is roughly about a 12-inch space
Insane.
between you and the curb.
Insane.
So again, I have a size 10 foot. So I'm walking like a ballerina.
But also, like, the weird part of driving out there is, yeah, we drove through the desert for a long time, but then we also in the Uber passed like an elementary school, and there is normal life outside of the Gold Base, not too far away, maybe a mile.
Yeah, about that, maybe a mile.
I mean,
2 miles.
it's a small town, but there's places for murals. It's not unheard of. And we were also talking about doing murals in other places. So that's just where our head's at too.
if the property owners on the other ends were good with it, or something, to put something there. And thank you for the suggestion.
Good idea.
Sinfully Good, our friend Seneca says, but this is about Liz and Bob, and I want to support them both. I don't know where the previous comment to this was, but even if things on my end aren't the best at the moment, love to you, Liz. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. As again, share it, spread the word, smash the like button, smash the subscribe. Just share it. The more people we get the news to, the better and more people will have with us.
Yeah, and you guys, right now, live, you guys have our permission. Like, chop it up and screw it. Like, this has been the funnest day. Like, use it, promote it, put it on your channel, make shorts. It's just like, wow.
I need to ask Denver Steve to do that for us, because
I have a project to do tomorrow, don't I?
Yay!
Yay!
He's the editing guy. He's the editing wizard.
Thank you. Lone Dinosaur 13 suggests I say reclaim the much love and leave the hip hurraying. Anyway, much love.
It's so creepy.
Right? Wait till you hear like 1,000 people do it.
Okay, I need to ask you, ladies, something. Okay. If you had to answer this question, honestly, do you think that L. Ron Hubbard is like a god to Scientology? Like, do they worship him?
I asked if L. Ron Hubbard was God. I could answer that.
Or a god, like an idol.
Yeah, so in my opinion, like, because of every religion has a god. So there's two answers to that. One, L. Ron Hubbard is like the guru.
Or like
that's
the
why
savior,
I love
guru?
the Van Morrison album, because Van Morrison was a Scientologist for a short bit. He has a couple albums about being in Scientology, a couple songs about the ARC Triangle. But Van Morrison has a song called No Guru, No Teacher, No Method. So I think, and it wasn't even about Scientology, it's just a beautiful song. It's an inspirational song. And L. Ron Hubbard was the guru, but the individual practicing Scientology is your own God. Like, there's no God other than you. You are the most powerful. And L. Ron Hubbard is the man who's source. So in that way, if you call him source, he's the provider of everything. So you could say godlike, but you're also believing that you're the one creating everything. So
Prophet.
More like a prophet, maybe?
yeah, or I was told he was mankind's best friend. Like, he was the deliverer of the tech this lifetime.
Ooh, what a friend.
If you're saluting a picture of him and you're hip hooray to a picture of him, and I don't know,
it's
sort of
mortifying.
like praying to him.
Honestly, it's mortifying.
It is like worshiping him, I would think.
Yes.
You know, a picture of him. He's been dead for how long?
I'm sorry.
Why is he still ruining our lives? It's 2023.
Right.
He died in 1986. Hello, Serge, where are you with the FBI photos?
Like, he can
Witness says instead of prophet, he was prophet.
It was the prophet. How much could go in his pocket?
Right.
Exactly.
I mean, they're destroying the human family unit. How much more egregious can you be?
Yep.
That's right.
Every single one of us on screen on this bottom row is a definite example of that. So please take note.
Yeah.
Anything that destroys families on the regular, please stop it. Yep. It should be illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Liz, how hard was it to be open publicly about this situation?
At first, it was more along the lines of finding out, well, is he dead or is he alive? And then when I found out close enough that he was still alive, it was scream it from the fucking hilltops. Like, don't give up. Get that bullhorn out. I mean, I'm a loud person. I tell jokes. I get it. But at the same time, me and my loud voice were going to a top of a hill and just screaming. Okay, here's the situation. Look at what's going on. See how wrong this is. Let's get him out. Let's get everyone out. I'm done. Like, just done. So no, it wasn't hard. Once half of the situations were coming up, it was more vindicating.
Good.
Understood. Paris asks the question, will some of you make a highlight reel of the best of this amazing show? There were so many great clips. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Mouse isn't clicking well. There we go. Witness suggests. Good Lord, mouse. I think I've killed the battery here on this thing today. Witness suggests keep it legal. Apostate Alex does say you don't need to release it to the public, but if you can have a lawyer to check whether or not you can get a copy, do it. Who knows? It might be evidence or helpful later on. So just a great suggestion, I think. Just a great suggestion.
Good suggestion.
Absolutely. Thank you. Hold on. I'm deleting now that I've got the mouse to work. That was the one. Liz, what's a simple? Liz, what's a simple thing you do or tell yourself that motivates you and reminds you to keep up the fight even through the tough times?
You fucked with my friend. Now I'm going to fuck back. Okay, that sounded really wrong and raunchy, but it was basically the same concept. You fucked with my friend.
Fuck around and find out, motherfuckers.
That's right.
Pretty much. Fuck around and find out. Now you lied to me about my dad. That's some fucking bullshit. He's alive. You're going to produce him for me.
Yep.
I love that movie.
Me too. Best Christmas movie ever.
That's right.
Yep, I don't care what anybody says.
Just an interesting note from Tassie Devil here. Regenerative culture is something I teach in Activist Rebellion. Anybody who teaches anything in Activist Rebellion is interesting to me. Plan, do, celebrate, rest, self-care, and group care. So
nice.
I wouldn't be here without my therapist and my support system.
I'd call it the celebratory phase with this last 8 minutes, and then we're I wouldn't say we're very good at resting because we just love to do what we do because Osa just can't help it. But hey, that's awesome.
Our friend Jeff says, y'all did an awesome job. Was glad to have been here with y'all.
Thanks for hanging.
Thank you
with
so
us.
much for everybody, and you guys never ends. Again, we all drank some kind of Kool-Aid. We all fell for some kind of snake oil. So
True.
It's not about in or not in, second gen or not. Sometimes it's about just being there for some of our stories and from some of the shit we've been through, and just saying, I got you.
True.
Yeah, thank you for holding space, and thank you for taking the time. It's so appreciated. Liz, I hope you feel how loved you are. And I really, really, really hope one day Bob gets to see this and knows how loved he is, how much people rallied behind you to get him. I really, that makes me excited to know that maybe it's a possibility.
Absolutely. That'd be nice. That'd be nice to be able to show him that.
Here's a quick selfish comment to me from Seneca. My old lady is showing her age. She's gone down on her back end and can't get up on her own. You have dogs that own you, that own me. That's right. I was wondering if she caught me petting my my puppo. But you always have a special one. Yes, indeed. Sabbath is that dog for me. I know exactly. I was petting Billy, who's my special one as well. So
y'all make sure you give your pets some pets for us, please. Degraded Daughters fucks with animals heavily, so give your little fur babies some love for us.
Yep. It's all about the fur baby packs.
Mine are probably not going to let me go to bed because they have been sleeping all day because I've been there.
Oh my God, you guys, we have like 5 minutes, and I really want to tell people, follow Liz's channel, subscribe.
Yes.
Please come back and leave comments, because they, I think, kick us out at 10 hours, right?
I don't think I don't think they do. Do they?
It's a loose 10 hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just so we get everything out that we want.
Let's get all the important. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Just please go follow Liz. Like the video on whatever stream you're subscribing on, watching. It's on so many channels today. It's been all over this YouTube platform. You cannot have missed this video. Some ups, some downs. Jeff said this was as big as the anonymous movement. Like, whoa, Chat-a-thon 3 turned VIP, you guys. What is even going on today? But we were just feeling it, going with it, and like, thank you.
And once again,
absolutely. Thank you so very much.
And once again, then, since you said that, I'd like to acknowledge the one and only Clearwater Chad, who one day sat in front of his computer and went live and said, "Okay, let's do this. I'll stay live for 10 minutes." And 4 months later, and
10 hours. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, and there was a comment from Tuesday Weld, who's somebody who's very special, and they had said, the never ends, the compassion that you guys have showed is like inspiring people from the inside that maybe you guys aren't even aware of. And I want you guys all realize 50% of the community is, to the never ends. Your participation is simply an amazing example of compassion and understanding. Thank you so much. So I was a not speaker outer for a long time, just watching. And I want you to know those messages mean a lot to us on the outside. You're never going to get a comment. You're never going to get a like, and you're never going to get a phone call. You can always talk to us, but just know it's double that under the radar, watching, listening. And I just want you guys to be aware that you guys standing up for us today and just helping host this, it gives other people like totally different viewpoints of the log world.
Outside, yeah.
Right.
And that's what we need to see.
Well, we're a little bit nutty. We're a little bit naughty, but we are very nice, and we really do mean that we care.
But we are nice, notorious, and nerdy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Very nerdy.
I'm pretty sure most of us have glasses, can't see without them. We're not even discuss what my SAT score was, so I will claim the nerd.
I just wanted to keep with I just wanted to say the positive words. Said they're very naughty, and then I said it, but notorious and nerdy and nice. Sorry, Mare.
Okay.
No,
and we love you, Marilyn.
We're just getting tired.
I love you, Marilyn. So
no, you're appreciated.
You guys, we just did 10 hours like it was nobody's Like it was
I
nothing.
know, it's
Like there was not even
awesome.
a struggle. So take a breath. We're killing it. We're saying words wrong, but we're like 3 minutes from calling it. So
I'm a
We'll
lot
see you
less
back here in the
tired than I
morning.
was last time.
good.
Last
Good.
time was all night. I was exhausted when you know, it's damn fine.
Yeah, it went by quick.
So let's see if I can do this in an apostate Alex accent.
Oh, here we go.
Liz, before you all no, I can't do it. I can't.
He does not sound like
No,
that.
I was like,
I
no.
don't. Pip pip cheerio, Liz. Before you all wrap up, can't do it. Sorry, Alex.
Nope.
I tried, man. Before you all wrap up, I just wanted to acknowledge your strength and courage in speaking out and showing your honest, raw emotions. Thank you, and I truly hope we can help get these answers. You get the answers you need.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope so too.
And our top of the hour total is
There we go.
5120.
Yay!
We get to 5150. It's a great Van Halen album. Let's try. Anybody want to donate $30?
2 minutes.
Well,
Yes,
let's be
good
real.
for me.
5150 is also the thing that saved my life.
It's also in honor of all the second gens who've been through a
Yes.
5150 because of the
Oh.
bullshit they put us through.
What's
Hey!
the
It's a mental health hold for usually a week or
Mm.
72 hours.
$30.
Oh, there we go. $30. That's all we need.
All you
And
need.
then
Yeah.
once we hit 5150, let's go for OU812.
Aw.
Serge!
Thank
Oh,
you.
Serge!
Oh my God.
We got it here just
I
in
love
time
his
to
face.
watch us say goodbye. Hi, Serge.
It's okay. Serge, hi. We love you.
Chat says hi in
That says hi.
crayon.
Over yonder.
Oh, saying hi. Serge.
Hi. To Serge.
Adorable.
Rawr. There we go.
No, it's
Rrr.
the rah.
That's it.
All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we're coming up to 10 hours in 5 seconds. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you
Thank
for
you, Thank
hosting,
you, V. Thank
having
you.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Chad is saying goodbye in crayon.
And just a reminder,
Nice.
everybody, you can continue to donate if you took down the links early, or if you grabbed those links earlier, you can still donate through them. Also, the QR code over on whatever side that is over there, down there. So, I'm assuming
The replay.
the thing, what am I calling it? The GoFundMe,
GoFundMe?
the GFM, the
Yeah.
GoFundMe is going to stay up regardless. So
Yeah.
So feel free to, if you didn't get a chance to donate, if you're waiting for Sunday for that paycheck to finally hit the bank account or whatever, Sunday, right? That happens on Sunday. Monday when all
wondering.
that happens. Yeah, sorry. I
10
said, as
hours.
soon as I said it, it didn't seem right. 10 hours. That's right. Please feel free. You can continue to donate, or you can donate if you haven't had a chance to. Thank you all for
Oh,
being
Chad.
here, and thank you
And joining
to,
us on this journey.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you
for
guys.
everybody
Thank
that came
everybody
on.
who
We
came.
love it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
This
Watched,
was
amazing.
epic.
donated. Donated.
everyone.
Thank you.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
Liz,
And
we
we'll
love
see you.
you.
Love you
Thank everyone.
guys.
Liz, and we got your back. We'll
Yes, we
talk.
got you.
We'll keep talking, and the 4 of
Thank
us up here
you.
will see you all. I'm tired too. Monday night. After
Monday night.
the
Yep.
After party.
And then for the after show.
party.
All right. Perfect.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Thank
Good
you so
night.
much. Bye.